Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another movie review here on the Corky's World channel. I'm Corky as always, and tonight, whenever you're watching this, we're going to be talking about a movie that I've been waiting for fucking ever. We are going to be talking about Blair Witch 2016. So, Karen and I just wrapped up watching it, and let's start with a little side note. I was actually surprised that Karen okayed watching this with me. Karen is probably someone who, probably of all the people I know, she likes horror films the least. Not because they scare her, she says, but because they're just boring, they're uninteresting, they're predictable, what have you. So, I was super glad that she watched this with me. Huge shout out to her. It's really a testament to her love for me that she was willing to put up with something that I've been talking about nonstop, and I'm sure it's been annoying, and I'm sure I've been fucking stupid as shit about it. Blair Witch came out on DVD today. It is fucking Tuesday, January 3rd, 2017. And I had been counting down the fucking minutes till I could go to Walmart and pick it up. So I bought first of all, let's talk about cost. You know, most Blu-rays for kind of big budget motion pictures that come out now are usually upwards of $25-26. This cost $21, let's say $21.25 with tax included, for the 2-disc Blu-ray that also came with a digital copy, 3 hours of bonus footage, a VR experience, just a whole bunch of dope shit. So I was already super impressed with the price, which I do take into account when I'm talking about movie reviews as a DVD. Because previous movie reviews have just been the film itself, but I'm also reviewing the DVD purchase as well. So, already off to a good start with that. Side note B, if you're wondering what's going on in the camera, I found a generic, just walking around some creepy woods stuff. I turned off the volume. Shouldn't cause any problems. It's just, I wanted some, like, wood background stuff, and I really wanted to focus on reviewing this movie, and originally I was gonna play Slender Man, The Arrival, but I didn't want to focus on it. I didn't want to get sidetracked, so this is a good background for what we are talking about. Alright. Note number 3, I'm going to talk about the plot. I'm going to run through it very generically. So, what makes this movie so special is technically you could call it Blair Witch 2, and then you could call Book of Shadows kind of 1.5. So, let me dive a little bit further into that. So, Blair Witch took place in, it's my favorite movie of all time, and I might be getting this year wrong, but it took place in 1995. Heather Donahue, along with Mike and Josh, go into the woods looking for the Blair Witch, and actually not even looking for the Blair Witch, just kind of trying to find some clue about the whole mystery behind her and the whole situation with Burkittsville altogether. They go missing, story happens. Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows, is, it's supposed to take place, I think, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years after Blair Witch. The town of Burkittsville is blowing up with popularity that they don't want. And it might actually even be like a year or two after. It's blowing up with popularity they don't want. A young man, played by Jeffrey Donovan from Burn Notice. He's in the new psychic show Shut Eye on Hulu. He runs a little, like, hey, let's go walk around the woods where they filmed the movie thing, and then hang out at his house thing. A whole bunch of crazy shit goes on. If you guys are interested, and even if you aren't, I might do it for fun for me. I will gladly do movie plot breakdown of Blair Witch 1 and Book of Shadows on another video. But here we arrive at Blair Witch 2016. So, unbeknownst to any of us at the time, Heather Donahue obviously left a family behind, but we didn't know that she left a little brother behind. And in comes James and his friends. I just watched the movie, but the names were just so not there. Alright, James, he has his female friend who is a college student who's making her film thesis. He has his buddy, who he's known since childhood, and his buddy's girlfriend. The buddy is, just watched this movie, I should have written names down. The buddy and his buddy's girlfriend, Ashley. So, something pops up on YouTube that piques James's interest. It's like some guy found footage in the woods in Burkittsville woods, and is like, what is going on the screen? And he's like, hey, I found this tape underneath a freaking tree. It's pretty crazy. And in the tape, you can freeze frame on what looks like a female figure. James is almost positive that is his sister. So, his sister, Heather Donahue. So James gathers up his friends, and then he goes to meet this guy who posted this thing on YouTube. Turns out the guy named DarkWeb66, which, if you want to know my whole theory on Dark Web and all that stuff, I will gladly make a video for that. Or go back to the Nerve video, which I talk a little bit about it in there, in the Nerve review. So, moving on, they go to this house, they meet up with this guy. It's just some dumpy little house in Burkittsville, or on the outskirts of Burkittsville. And it's this kind of stoner, this stoner kind of nerdy looking dude, and then his girlfriend, who reminded me a lot of Commander Holly from Commander Holly's channel. Shout out to Commander Holly, huge fan. I've always been a tweetheart, so not that this will ever get to you, but you're awesome. Can't believe you're married to Ross. That guy's kind of a dick sometimes. But I'm getting sidetracked. So they go meet up with Dark Web, who is nerdy guy and Commander Holly. And the two of them are like, yeah, we'll take you to where the place is, but we want to go with you, and we want to stay the night with you because we heard you guys are going to stay the night, and we want to be a part of that. The gang of four, which is, I'm gonna give them names, which is, man. Dude, oh man, all the names of all the characters are slipping out of my head right now. So I am going to do a little quick research. While I'm doing that, again, huge thank you to whoever's footage this is. I just found it on the web and pulled it up here. So huge thank you to that. Okay, so James is the little brother. Lisa is the film student. Ashley is the girlfriend of Peter, and Peter is the best friend. And then Lane and Talia are the nerd and Commander Holly. So the group is like, I don't know, we don't really want to do this, but they're kind of not giving us a choice. They say we have to take them with us. So the six of them then go to the spot where they found the woods. You know, Lane and Talia are pretty weird people, and that just continues to grow. So they set up camp. Ashley cuts her foot at some point, and that turns into a whole gross another thing, which is awesome. They set up camp overnight, and then when they wake up, it's 2 p.m. And all this time has passed, and everyone's kind of freaking out about how they slept in. Overnight, they heard noises, and Lane got lost. And then when they wake up, they're the classic, the iconic Blair Witch stick figures all over. So everyone's like, let's just get out of here. Let's just get out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. So they get out. They start leaving. And they find twine in Lane's backpack. And they're like, hey, you fucking faked this. You're some bullshit. And Lane's like, I just had to. Someone has to get the word out. And you guys were coming out here. So these woods are terrible. Someone needs to know what's going on. So the four main people in Lane and Talia split up after that point. And everything goes way downhill. Again, I'm going to cut the plot off here because I really don't want to spoil anything. I recommend this movie very highly. It was perfect. I could not have asked for a better send-up to Blair Witch. I would count this more of a sequel than I would Book of Shadows. And I love Book of Shadows. So I need to talk about the visuals in the film. Granted, we are no longer we're not in the 90s anymore. Our filming equipment is high tech. You know, anyone can make almost gorgeous looking movies on their fucking phones. They used a lot of very high tech equipment, which gave a very crisp, clear quality. And I didn't think that was a bad thing. When you want to make a found footage movie, you don't always necessarily have to have a shitty camera. They use the fact that I just forgot her name again. They use the fact that Lisa is a student at, I assume, a very nice college. So they had fucking HD camera, earpiece cameras. They had drone that film stuff. They had their smartphones, and then they had really nice filming equipment. and everything looked crisp and perfect, and it didn't take away from the found footage fact at all. When I saw trailers for this movie, I didn't think it was a found footage movie because they were using such high-tech camera. But in turn, it was, and it was fucking incredible. The wood, like, it felt like you were in the woods. They had really nice sound equipment on them. I was fucking blown away. I couldn't have been any happier with how the movie was visually presented. So, audio-wise, again, incredible. They had some really cool special effects, or not special effects, but really cool sound effects. A lot of, like, just classic nature sounds. Everything you wanted. I would recommend watching this movie with headphones, especially the kind where you kind of get the 360 experience, because then you can feel someone walking up behind you. You can hear stuff rustling around to the left, to the right. It really makes for such a better experience. Another movie I'd like to highly recommend doing that with is Grave Encounters. I don't know that it's on Netflix anymore, and if it's not, pick it up on Blu-ray. Guys, such an incredible horror film. Definitely in my top 5. Which I'm going to take the next part to talk about the special effects. And by talk about, I mean they were fucking incredible. Movies can go way overboard and way underboard with scares. For example, or special effects, I should say. For example, we saw a trailer in this movie for Rob Zombie's new film, 31, and it was just fucking blood and guts and gore all over the place. And that's cool, and it might be a good movie. Rob Zombie has done some good things in the past, but he's also done bad things. Lords of Salem was fucking garbage. So, shout out to you, Mr. Zombie. I'm a huge fan, but that movie was not good. It felt like you wrote it for Sherry Moon to just have something to do. And that's another video, guys. We'll talk about that another time. But you can go way overboard, and then you can go way underboard. So, what's an example of going underboard in a found footage movie? Or in any horror movie, where you just kind of felt underwhelmed, like it kind of built up to something and then just fell off. A lot of people claim the first Blair Witch is like that. I don't feel that way. I feel like it built up perfectly, and then I was very happy with the result. This movie, again, it took the first Blair Witch and added some, where people would criticize the first Blair Witch for not being interesting enough or not being catchy or quick or jumpy enough. This added little moments that didn't really seem to take away from the plot. They were scary. I jumped a few times, but part of me wanted that, It helps when you go into a horror movie wanting to be scared instead of going into it hating it. Again, they gave you just the right amount of seeing stuff while holding back and keeping your imagination going. It was just fucking phenomenal. So now I want to talk about where this falls on my scale, and then we'll get to the final rating. Honestly, guys, this isn't going to be that much longer because I fucking loved this movie. It's quick out of the gate to say, and I might watch it again in a week, and then and do a review like the nerd does. But guys, the Blair Witch Project is my favorite horror movie of all time, and it's in my top 10 movies of all time. Anyone who knows me knows that. Book of Shadows probably gets top 10 horror and top 25 of all time. Guys, this franchise for some reason connects with me so much, whether it's nostalgia, whether it's fucking birthing the love of found footage films that I have, birthing the genre essentially. Guys, I can't think of any movie that was found footage before Blair Witch Project. They started a revolution. And now you could fucking throw a dart at the Netflix lineup and probably hit a found footage. Let alone all the randoms you can find on Amazon or Hulu or what else? What else you stream stuff on? Crackle. Fine. Yeah, okay. So guys, to put it in perspective, I gave the first Blair Witch Project a 9 out of 10 film reels. That movie means so much to me. And, that's my opinion. It's not the biggest opinion. Recently we've had a revolution in it. This helps, but let's say 10 years ago, 10, maybe even 15 years ago, if you said you liked the Blair Witch, you were pretty much fucking castrated on spot. Everyone was like, that movie's a piece of shit, it's garbage, it's not going to be nothing. It's not anything, it's never going to amount to anything. We've kind of hit a revolution in the fact where now people are saying they like that movie, maybe without even having seen it. Maybe because it's kind of the trendy thing to do to just be like, oh yeah, Blair Witch, yeah, so cool, so hip, so retro. If anyone ever said anything like that to me regarding the Blair Witch, I would fucking knock their teeth in. Granted, I probably have an unhealthy obsession or cling to that movie, but something about it is like part of my DNA. I don't think I'd be the same person had I not, dude, what the, had I not had the experience I did with it. So, that being said, guys, Blair Witch 2016 gets my rating of 8.7 film reels. It's not the original, and it's never going to be. Nothing ever will be. But you guys, I don't think anything could come closer than this. I was so pleased. As a Blair Witch fan, I don't think I could ask for more. It was perfect. It kind of tied up some questions that maybe you had with the first one. And effects were incredible. Visuals were spot on. Audio was fantastic. Acting was great. It wasn't too much, it wasn't too little, which is a very dangerous line to walk when you're doing found footage. It can be so easy to go over the top or underperform. So, guys, like I said, Blair Witch 2016, 8.7 out of 10 film reels. I cannot recommend this enough. If you're a fan of the first one, please go check it out. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. I love these reviews, guys. I love getting to sit down and talk to you about movies, which is one of my biggest passions. I love movies, I love TV, I love video games, and I love you guys. So, as always, be good to yourself, be good to each other, and I will see you in the next movie. Later days.